Welcome back everyone. Today we're looking at part E, which is impact of using IT systems. The first thing we're going to focus on is online services and their uses. We've kind of gone over this already, but I'm trying to make sure I cover every single point on the specification. Online services are internet-based platforms that enable individuals and organizations to perform various tasks digitally. These services cover multiple needs, including shopping, banking, education, and entertainment for diverse users. They provide convenience, accessibility, and efficiency, allowing remote interaction and instant information access. Quite simply, the internet has made everything about IT much better. So first we have retail services. I'm not going to go into depth on each one of these because I think they're pretty self-explanatory. If you want to be able to read or understand it a bit more, pause the video, read it, or go onto the website and download the PowerPoint. So we have retail services. So think of any store that you use to purchase stuff online. Argos, Amazon, eBay, right? Anything that you have to purchase online, these are retail services. Next we have financial services. I think the easiest ones are going to be banking apps. I think a lot of 16 to 18-year-olds in the UK have bank accounts, and you guys probably have it on your phone as well, so you can log into your bank account and check what's happening. I remember when I got my first bank account, I had to go into the bank or go to a cash machine to check how much cash I had in there. The apps weren't as good back then and the website wasn't as good. Whereas nowadays, I don't know the last time I went to a cash machine to check how much money is in my bank because I simply check on my phone. We have education and training. This is probably the one that should be most recognizable to you guys because this is one as well. YouTube is used for this purpose. We have Microsoft Teams, we have Google Classroom, we have stuff like Zoom. We have loads of education and training apps that we can use online. During COVID, when some of you guys were in, I'm guessing, secondary school, you would have probably used some of these services. We have real-time news updates. I don't actually buy newspapers anymore. I go onto the website and I read the news, or I have a Google News feed that gives me everything at once. We have multimedia content access. Accessing videos on the internet is probably the biggest thing right now. YouTube is by far the biggest search engine, the biggest thing in the world. Everyone uses YouTube for every single thing. Online news aids organizations in monitoring trends and public sentiment for strategic planning. Quite simply, a company will look at what's happening in the news, what's happening in the world, and try to counter or try to build services or try to improve what they have based on the news that's going on around the world. A really good example I have is when VMware was sold to a company called Broadcom. So this is a very big IT company. They changed all the licenses and they made the free licenses no longer free. People had to pay to use the licenses. Everyone on the internet, every YouTube video was in uproar about this, and they had to go back and they made the license free in the end. Entertainment and leisure. I use YouTube Music or YouTube to play music every single day. I'm in the gym, I'm playing music. I'm walking home, I'm playing music. I'm driving home, I'm playing music. Another one would be Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu Plus, all of these services. These are entertainment and leisure. And obviously there's gaming as well. You know, you can stream games online. Booking systems. I need to book a holiday and I'm definitely gonna check everything online first on like Google Flights and either book through Google Flights or click on the link to take me to the airline's website to book there. And I'm not gonna call them. That's just long. I'm gonna I'm gonna be on the phone for at least half an hour waiting, where I can do everything online, pay for it, and get it over and done with in no time. Impact and implications of online services. The first one we have is transactional data. Now, this is normally linked to simply money being sent or received. However, that's not the only thing. Everything that we do on the internet is seen as a transaction. So when we log into a service, when we visit a website, that's still a transaction. Even though no money is being transferred, it's still a transaction. And companies watch this and monitor this, and that's how they can sell us those ads. For example, when you search for something on Amazon or eBay, and then all of a sudden you go to other websites and the thing you were looking for on Amazon or eBay keeps popping up every single time. That's one way they do it. So transactional data is information gathered from user interactions with online services like purchases and account activities. Business benefits. Organizations use transactional data to understand customer behavior and improve their services effectively. Personalized experiences. Transactional data enables personalized user experiences and more efficient service delivery for individuals. Privacy and security concerns. Transactional data raises important concerns about data privacy and the security of user information. Next, we have targeted marketing. This is closely linked to transactional data. So as I mentioned before, you visit a website, for example, I'm always searching up something about Raspberry Pi, something about mini PCs, something about servers, something about hard drives and RAM and storages and processors. I'm always searching up IT stuff on Google, on eBay, on Amazon. So when I go to some other random website to read an article and they have ads on their website, the stuff that I was looking at previously on those other websites is sent to my screen, meaning because they know the stuff I normally look at, they can target ads specifically for me so that they can more than likely try to sell me something. It never works for me because I only buy stuff I absolutely 100% need. Collaborative working is probably one of the hugest things right now. People work for companies in different countries, even though they live in a different country. For example, I had a friend who was working for an overseas company and she was like an accountant. So it was really amazing because she could do her meetings online, she could do her minutes, she could do her documents, she could do her spreadsheets. Everything was being done online and there was no need for her to ever be in the office. Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, all of these services now have a feature where you can have dozens of people working on a single document at the same time. And I've used this in my classes as well just to show students how it works. So for example, I would create a document, I would share it with everyone in the class. Everyone would have a section that they have to complete. For example, person A would be 1.1, person 2 would be 1.2, and so on and so forth. So everyone has their own section to complete. So the impact and the implications are flexibility and work-life balance. People can work more flexibly. They can work from anywhere, they can work at any time, which means that the work-life balance would be better. So for example, someone who has a child who struggles to work during the day because the child is awake can work in the evenings when the other parent comes home or when the child goes to sleep. Organizational benefits, the biggest one there is probably going to be a company no longer has to have an office. They simply need to be a group of people who want to work towards a similar goal. I could, for example, be the CEO of a company, and rather than me go renting out an office space, I could simply do everything online. I could say, okay, our meetings are going to be on Mondays at 12 p.m. We're going to meet again on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. to do this thing. So I don't need to have an office to meet everyone and to give everyone tasks or for them to be able to share their ideas. We can just do everything online. Technology and security. Successful remote work requires robust IT infrastructure and strong data security measures to protect company information. Generally true. However, when it says robust IT infrastructure, most people working at home only have internet, a laptop, or a desktop. That's all they have. They don't have special firewalls and antiviruses and ad blockers. They don't do their own DNS. So when it says robust, it simply means good enough IT infrastructure. The company would ideally have good IT infrastructure. So for example, when I was working for a school in the past, we used to have to VPN into the school to be able to access any service whatsoever. And a VPN, again, let me go back to this. A VPN does encryption. So it encrypts all the data being sent to and from the school. It also tricks my PC into making it think it is in my school's location and not when I was at home. Next, we have using and manipulating data in IT systems. We have to understand data sources. So primary and secondary data. Primary data collection. So primary data is collected directly for a specific purpose through surveys, interviews, or experiments, ensuring relevance and accuracy. And primary data comes directly from the source. Secondary data, on the other hand, is pre-existing information accessed from books, articles, databases, and reports. So primary data, just think about the two words. There's primary and there's secondary. Primary, anything that's primary is going to be the main thing. Secondary is going to be the secondary one, the one that comes afterwards. So primary data comes directly from the source. So you speak to the person, you have the interview with the person, you give the person a survey. So that's direct data to you. Secondary data, the surveys were already done by someone else. The information is already out there. So you just go and make use of it. Ensuring information reliability. Methods to ensure reliability. The first one we have is verifying data credibility. So we check the data origin, where the data is coming from. We check the source's reputation. So are you going to trust Microsoft or Google's data over my data? You should 100% trust their data over a random person. And currency to confirm information credibility. Cross-referencing data. Compare data with trusted sources to ensure accuracy and reliability. If you go onto my website and you see some data, some random table, some random data on there. For example, recently I did a Raspberry Pi AI Hack Plus 2 and I put the specs on my website. That is data. You should ideally go and check or confirm that data is accurate. And the easiest way to check that is simply go to the Raspberry Pi website, type in the name of the device I was speaking about and see the specs line up. Next, we have using authoritative resources. So utilize official peer-reviewed publications to enhance data reliability. I would say at this level, probably not as useful to you guys. You should be aware of it, but peer reviews normally come in when you get to university, when you get to doing a PhD. Your peers have to review your work before you can publish anything. Ideally, you should use services that already have that built in. So for me to be able to publish anything at all about IT or computer science, that must be reviewed by peers who are similarly knowledgeable about the topic I'm speaking about. So if I'm speaking about processors and RAM and just general hardware stuff, I need to publish it so other people who know about that stuff can read it, understand it, and say, yeah, I agree with this, or no, I don't agree with this because A, B, and C. Next, we have regular data audits. Implement periodic data reviews and updates to maintain information integrity. Data collection techniques, surveys, questionnaires, focus groups, interviews. I'm not going to go over this part because I think they're self-explanatory. So you can do surveys, you can do questionnaires, you can do focus groups, you can do interviews with people to get the data that you need for whatever you're trying to do. Importance of data accuracy, why accuracy matters. Accurate data ensures reliable decisions and effective IT systems functioning for individuals and organizations. If you have the wrong data, so let's just say say Amazon think that last year they sold, I don't know, 100,000 memory sticks. This year they're thinking, more people are in schools, COVID is finished, whatever the case is. Let's buy 200,000. But if someone typed in 1,000 was supposed to be the number, but they typed in 100,000 instead, that's a massive, massive, massive number versus the original. So the data must be accurate. So we have to put checks in place to make sure the data is accurate before companies can make decisions. Because imagine if Amazon went and bought, I don't know, 200,000 memory sticks from Samsung or some other company. That's a large sum of money they're going to spend for someone typing in the wrong number. Consequences of inaccuracy. Inaccurate data causes errors, poor decisions, loss of trust, and operational issues in organizations. Maintaining data accuracy. Regular data checks and updates maintain system integrity and enhance user confidence and compliance. Simply put, you should check the data that you have regularly. Don't just push it through, forget about it, and you're good to go. Go through the data once in a while. And to be fair, nowadays you can ask AI to help you check your data. For example, you can feed your spreadsheet into ChatGPT or Google Gemini or whatever it is and ask it, can you please go over this data, check it, check that all the data types are correct, and check that all the data is within tolerance. So for example, if you had a field that should have no more than 999 things, but somehow it got 2,999 in there, you should go ahead and check for that data just to make sure it's right. Technique for data accuracy. So the verification process checks if data entered matches the original source using manual or automated methods. So when you verify something, right? So when someone has to verify your details, they go check it against the original. So that's what verification is. Validation ensures data format correctness and adherence to predefined rules like date and format. So validate the data means that if I ask you, let's say I wrote a Python program and I ask you for your name, age, and height. Your name should ideally be chars, so characters, a string. So for example, RonsTechHub is my name. Age 100, height 1.5 meters, something along those lines. So the data that you enter must match the data that was requested. If I ask you for your name and you type in 100, that's definitely going to be wrong. If I ask you for your age and you type in RonsTechHub, that should also be wrong. If I ask you for your height and you type in 152 in words, that's going to be wrong as well. So we need to make sure that we validate the data. Data validation is a massive, massive thing in IT. These procedures reduce errors, improve decision making, and enhance data quality in IT systems. So remember, this is going to be very, very important. And on the exam papers, you can be asked to explain the difference between verification, validation. And remember again, verify the data, check it against the original to see if it's correct. Validate the data. If I ask you for a specific type of data, that's the data I expect and that's the data I should get. User interface considerations. So there should be ease of use, there should be accessibility, there should be error reduction, and again, verification and validation. This is where it comes in. Performance and compatibility. Ensure the system operates reliably, quickly, and integrates well with other devices and systems. I'll stop it there. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share with your teachers, share with your friends. I've created the website that has flashcards, it has a PowerPoint, it has videos, it has quizzes. Go onto the website, use it. It's completely free at the moment. Use it, and hopefully it will help you pass your exams. Thanks for watching.